Hey, hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about more of the self talk, more of what out of the book, what to say when you talk to yourself. And it says powerful new techniques to program your potential for success. It's by Shad Helmstetter. And this book is amazing because self talk, negative self talk, is something that I struggle with. I always have. And it's a reason, as I'm learning from this book, it's a reason why things are actually turning out the way they do for me sometimes. And there's the cool thing is everybody has the ability to change this. So this is me recording the podcast. It's unedited, the video portion. I really don't edit the podcast either. The podcast is called Run to Your Leadership Challenges. You can get it anywhere you can download podcasts. So I invite you to listen there. Comment. Please leave a comment here if you're listening or watching via video, and you get a little bit of extra here. But all right, so I'm all ready. I'm going to begin. I may tell you a little extra in the beginning or the end as well. Hey, hello, leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr., and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So today we're talking more about Shad Helmstetter's book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And this is all about self-talk and the powerful insight that we have now on what self-talk does to us. The latest and greatest neuroscientists out there, the brain doctors, they are proving that self-talk really does prove that Proverbs 23:7, which says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Basically, science has proven that correct. What we think about the most is what we're going to do, what we're going to be. And a lot of these things are programmed early in life. So I'm going to tell you this story that Shad tells in the book. And there's actually two stories. The one is Shad tells about himself, and it's about how when he was a boy, he tried out for the band in school. And so he tried out, and the next thing you know, he was terrible. All right. He couldn't play really good. Well, about an hour later, when the tryouts had wrapped up, he was getting ready to leave, and he overheard his teacher telling somebody else, or the music teacher telling his teacher, that he had zero ability in music and that he basically will never play a musical instrument in his life. Well, guess what? That was an automatic thought, or the automatic thought that went to Shad is he believed that. He heard that about himself and he believed it. So for the rest of his life, or up until about 20 years ago, I guess, it took him 20 years, he always said, yeah, I got no musical ability. My music teacher even told me that, or told somebody else. I overheard him. So he believed, his core foundation believed that he did not have any musical ability. Well, he goes on to say 20 years later, he fought off this foundation, this negative belief that he believed about himself. And he said he rented a piano and he learned how to play the piano. Not great, mind you, but he learned how to play. So he said it was important for him to prove his music teacher wrong. Now, that's a negative aspect of something he heard negative early on in his career. Then he tells this story about Michael, and Michael's story is totally different. Michael's story basically talks about how Michael overheard somebody telling his mom that he was extremely creative and that he really can't wait to see how he applies all his creativeness in life, because he's going to be a very creative person and make a difference. Well, he went on to be the dean of Disney University. So yeah, he believed what that guy told his mom and what he overheard, that he had an immense level of creativity, and he believed that. And there was a foundation, a core belief of his. So This is why therapists take patients all the way back to early childhood and talk about the early childhood and what went on and some of the things that they've learned and some of the things they were taught and what that was said to them. Because the thing about this is that is the foundation of our mental programming. And that's what Shad points out in the book. That's the foundation of our mental programming. It's what we continue to tell ourselves. So again, with Shad, I'm not musically inclined. I don't have a 1 ounce of ability of music in me. And then basically it wires us, or it programs us that we're programmed to fight off new ideas, basically. So if somebody was to come up to Shad and say, "Hey, why don't you try playing the trumpet?" What's he going to say? No, I have no musical ability. If somebody comes up and says, "Hey, why don't you try to play the drum? All you got to do is beat on a drum, and keep the rhythm." Nope, I have no musical ability. Well, all through his life, he's going to believe that because that's the way his subconscious was programmed from a very early age. And these programs, some of them are negative. In Shad's story, it was negative. In Michael's story, it was positive, because for the rest of his life, he always thought, "Hey, I'm creative." Whenever anybody came to him and says, "Hey, can you create?" "Yes, I'm very creative. I'm creative. I'm creative." So it was a part of his core foundation. Now, the negative ones, they are there and they hold us back. In a way, it's almost to protect us, because the brain or the subconscious only believes or only takes in what we hear and what we see and what we tell ourselves. So, our faulty programming can be erased, though. It can be erased, and it could be, it could be reprogrammed per se. And that's what Shad breaks down in the book. He said it all comes down to self-talk. That is the one thing. On yesterday's podcast, we talked about how the 3 essential things you need for anything to really stick. If you're learning new information, there's 3 critical, essential things that you need. And Shad points them out. And the only type of thing that really has all 3 of those key essentials is self-talk. It's how we talk to ourselves. It's how we tell ourselves what we can be. I mentioned, powerful I am statements. And I mentioned, just listening to positive stuff, because the more you listen to positive stuff and you put that in your brain, you're telling your stuff, it's going to be a good day. 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 And even if you get up and it's thunderstorming out and you're like, "Oh man, I got an outside event planned," you're going to say, "It's okay. I'm going to have a good day," because that's what your brain is programmed to do. And if somebody says, "Oh, it's a bad day," then your reprogrammed brain is going to say, "There aren't no bad days. This is going to be a good day. Something's good going to turn out of this." So I got a challenge for you today. And the challenge is to start mentally tracking all the times that you talk yourself out of something, or if you say you can't, or any other type of negative self-talk. This could be somebody else. This could be somebody else coming in and say, "Oh, what a lousy day." Guess what kind of day that person's going to have? A lousy day, because that's what they're telling themselves it's going to be. Now, if you come in and say, "Oh, it's going to be a great day today," guess what? You're going to have a great day. So, but it's not instant. This reprogramming and going back into our deep subconscious and digging out that wiring and that programming, that negative programming, takes consistency. So it's kind of like forming a new habit, but it's reprogramming your brain. And our brain is more detailed and more complicated than the most complicated computers in the world. And the thing is, a computer only does what you tell it to do. I mean, you could type in a page full of lies. It's not going to stop you, because it's going to do what you tell it to do. It's going to type up what you type in. And that's the same thing with our brains. they are programmed to do what we tell it to do the most. So if all our life we've been saying that we can't, it's going to be a terrible day when it rains, and if things don't go my way, it's because I'm just that's just me. Everything never works out for me. If you're telling yourself this all the time, guess what result you're going to get? You're going to get Your brain is going to put you in a position so you don't get things. On the other hand, if you're continuously rewiring your brain and reprogramming it, the stuff that you say and the stuff that you think about continuously and consistently, that's going to come true. So that's it for today. Just track your negative self-talk and even what you hear, because you'll hear other people. And now that you know this, you're going to be like, that person's talking negative. And guess what? That's why they're always in a bad mood or something. Light bulbs are going to come on. I promise you. So, hey, that's it for today. Come on back tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to talk about what can happen in a fraction of a second. So until then, you know what to do, right? Run to your challenges. We'll see you. Okay, so that's the podcast. Just a little extra here on the video. Some amazing things can happen when you put your mind to it. And that Bible scripture that says, so a man thinketh, so is he. That is so true. That's the same principle that Napoleon Hill wrote about in Think and Grow Rich. It's the same principle that James Allen wrote about, the book As a Man Thinketh. And there's a lot of other books. Napoleon Hill. I also read the book, which I actually liked better than Think and Grow Rich. It's called what's it called? A Talk with the Devil, or Interview with the Devil, or something like that, or How to Outsmart the Devil. I think that's what it is. But yeah, Outwitting the Devil. That is a really good book. And it's all about positive thinking. And the devil in there basically tells Napoleon Hill, that, hey, this is my biggest concern, when people start to think on their own and think in positive terms. So it's pretty cool. But hey, that's it for today. Come on back tomorrow, or actually, if you're watching this, you could probably watch it right now, because I do all my recording on Monday. I will program this to go live on Wednesday morning, or to show up, but you can probably still watch it in a little while on my Current Leadership Coaching YouTube page. We will see you later. Let me end the stream. Ciao.